Maserati Ghibli. Apologies for its condition. I've been driving all day and I'm absolutely nowhere near a jet wash. Yeah, white, not always the best colour, especially in winter. This is a 50 grand car. It is the Ghibli diesel. It's got 275 horsepower and 600 Newton meters of torque, which is about 440 foot-pound. Does 0-60 in 6.3 seconds, and top speed is limited to 155. I'm just going to have a look around the car right now. We're going to go for a drive in a minute, so let's have a look at the practicality of it. But first of all, let's just take it in, soak it in, because for what it is, large premium saloon, it's cracking looking, and perhaps better looking than any of its rivals. Right, do a quick interior tour. Start with the back seat. Oh look, I've left some litter there. It's spacious, very comfortable. Let's see how much knee room there is. My seat is all the way back, right as far back as we go, and I'm 5'10", and there's a reasonable amount of knee room. The first car that came into the country was bronze with a tan interior, and that looks better than white with a black interior, and I'll show you why in a minute when we go in the front. So here's the front of the Maserati. The seats, very comfortable, again black, some lovely details, and then some not so lovely details. That's plastic, not wood. Again, you've got this wood here, and again this grain on this leather looks better in a lighter colour. But then you've got some lovely details like this, and like the dials. Right, I'm going to turn it on so the screen comes on. So you can see the difference in quality of the materials. Some are really very good, others aren't so much. Let's go in up close. See what I mean? I'm not sure if that's leather or not. Right, infotainment screen is very good. Sat-Nav, which we'll cover in a minute, is a cracker. You've got digital radio, you've got Bluetooth, you've got USB. These are the dials, which I'll cover in a minute when we hit the road. But it looks very pretty, doesn't it? Very Italian, very Maserati. Right, practicality. You've got door pockets, quite small. You've got cup holders here. Now this goes away from the driver, which is a bit odd actually. When you've got stuff in there, you would think that would open and face the driver. You've got a space here. This is where your USB port is. Now a bit of a problem, when you plug something in there and then you put the phone in there and you've got all the cable sticking out of there, it looks a bit of a mess. Here, very Mercedes, hey? You've got another piece of storage. Great big thing with two cup holders in the bottom. So that is the Ghibli. And we'll take it for a spin on the road. Let's just finish off with this. It looks superb. Filthy, but super. Right, we're on the road in the Ghibli. First thing you notice, the chassis is very good. The steel suspension makes for a good ride, but also the steering and the handling is really quite good. You don't feel the weight of an 1800 kilo car. It feels lighter than that. The steering's quite light, but it does have good feedback and feel, and you can really push it around corners knowing where the limits of the car are. I can't shut Sat-Nav radio. When you are going around the corner, you can feel the back end push. Obviously it's rear wheel drive, you can feel the back end pushing, and if it does lose grip, if it does lose a bit of traction, the traction control gives you just enough of a scare before reining things back in and taking over. The gearbox has got a few different modes. I'm in sport right now. It's the only sensible option in the Ghibli when you want to drive it properly. It changes gear just as you would in a manual gearbox. Take sport off, turn it off, and you're in a kind of eco mode. It's a little bit like Mercedes. It's a bit too eco, and it's a bit reluctant to change gear. You've got another setting called ICE. She still won't show up. Called ICE, which increases traction control and basically is for slippery surfaces and that kind of thing. The driving position is fine, just about. The steering wheel comes out of the dashboard a little bit too high, just like it does on other Maseratis. But the seat's very comfortable and you get used to it. The pedal box is quite deep. The pedals are offset a bit to the right, but again, not really so you notice after a few miles. You do get quite comfortable and quite used to sitting in this car. The gearbox, which I just talked about, is an 8-speed ZF. The display ahead of me is reasonably clear. There's speedo to the left, rev counter to the right, and a screen in the middle. And I prefer to turn the screen to digital speed readouts because it's sometimes quite difficult to tell exactly what speed you're going. She wants me to turn left. I really can't work out how to shut her up. The infotainment system is very good. The Sat-Nav is very good. It just has its small peculiarities. Like right now,
in a half mile, turn left.
There you go. I'm going somewhere. I've obviously got this set to take me somewhere, and it doesn't tell me how long it's going to take, how many miles I've got to go, and what the estimated time of arrival is. Otherwise, it's very accurate. It's very good. The sound system's really good. Connects via USB or via Bluetooth and digital radio, and it's all very clear and it's very loud and it's very nice. The engine, bit of diesel. You almost don't notice a diesel when you're in the car. It's got 275 horsepower, 600 newton meters of torque, which is about 440 pound-foot of torque.
Left on road.
And it really pushes the car along quite well. It sounds good as well out the exhaust and in the cabin. And it does have oodles of torque. It pushes you in the back. It's not an urgent speed acceleration like you'd get with a petrol car with a fizzy screaming engine. It revs to just over 4,000 RPM, but it's got a push. It pushes you in the back, and it doesn't stop. With aligned to this gearbox, it is really very quick. I'm going to pull over to finish.
In a quarter mile, turn right on Hereford Lane.
So she will shut up. In summary, the Maserati Ghibli diesel is a fine car. It's an expensive car. It's £50,000, which is a little bit more than its rivals from Audi, from Jaguar, from Mercedes, and maybe BMW. You do have that brand. You have the Trident. You've got the Maserati name, which adds a luster and takes you away from the norm. It is something different, and it's something more premium, I'd say, than its competitors. Some of the materials in the cabin do let it down, but the driving experience, the space, and generally the ambience of the car is such that it's a worthwhile choice. It is a really nice car with the odd peculiarity, but it is Italian. I like the Ghibli a lot.